So you've decided to learn more about trapping. Glad to hear it. You will find that harvesting fur bearers can be an enjoyable and rewarding way to spend time outdoors. Trapping has a long and rich history in North America. Native Americans and early European settlers trapped for food and fur to stay warm. Today it is still an activity shared by many throughout the United States and Canada. As modern-day trappers, we must respect the land and all living things. We must think carefully about where we set our traps, and we must understand and use modern trapping methods. Trapping is sometimes misunderstood by those who do not trap. It only takes one bad experience to change a person's neutral attitude to a negative one. We must be aware of this and always conduct ourselves in a manner that reflects well on our group and our activity. The future of trapping depends on each one of us. We must make a commitment to be responsible and ethical. If we do, we'll ensure that this important activity continues. So how do we do this? What does this all mean? That's what we're going to discuss here today, the ethics behind trapping. And what do I mean by ethics? The dictionary will tell you it's a discipline dealing with what is good and bad and with moral duty and obligation. And our society defines ethics as standards that are proper, safe, and promote the general well-being of citizens. Sound complicated? Well, let's take a closer look. In a way, ethics are like laws, but they differ from laws in one important way. Laws are rules that society provides for our protection. Ethics are the standards and values that develop within our hearts and minds. They are personal standards that guide our behavior. How we conduct ourselves in the field communicates our ethical standards to others. In some cases, it may be how we talk with others, the words we choose, the level of respect we show for people or the natural world. In other words, it's our actions as well as our words that are important. There is no room for bad behavior. We need to be considerate of all living things, whether it's wild animals, livestock, pets, or other people. If we are always thinking about how our actions will affect other people and the animals we may encounter, we are being considerate and ethical. We must show respect to the animals we trap by understanding them. We can learn about animals by reading books or surfing the web, but there is no substitute for time spent outdoors to obtain this knowledge. The more we know about the animals we intend to trap, the more successful trappers will be. Every animal needs food, water, and shelter. We need to know where it lives, what it eats, and how it behaves. Scouting for the signs that are specific to the animal we want to trap will increase our success. To do well, observation skills and knowledge of wildlife are critical. Learning this way takes time and effort, but it is absolutely necessary and extremely rewarding. It's the right thing to do. When we're looking to place a trap, we need to think about the impact that a set trap will have on others. We shouldn't put traps near a busy road or in places that are used by other people or their pets. We don't want to risk trapping someone's dog, and we don't want to offend someone who might be upset by the sight of a captured animal. Just avoid those locations and you'll avoid those situations. Before anyone sets a trap, they should always ask themselves the following questions. Do I feel right about this location? Do I feel right about this situation? If you experience any hesitation or doubt, take a moment to rethink. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. It should also go without saying that before we set any traps, we need to know where we are and who owns the land that we're on. If we're on private property, we must ask the landowner for permission. To do anything less is trespassing, a violation of law and certainly not ethical behavior. It is simply not a way a respectful person would behave. Long ago, unregulated take caused forests, grasslands, and wildlife populations to decline. People over-harvested resources that they assumed were abundant and without limit. They took too many animals, and wildlife populations could not sustain themselves. Trappers, hunters, and citizens came together to protect these populations through the rules and regulations that we have today. The rules are based on sound science and research provided by professionals, including trappers, biologists, and law enforcement officers. They define the proper methods, bag limits, and seasons for most animal species. We can do our part by always following these rules. That will ensure animals are not over-harvested and will have healthy populations into the future. In addition to the laws that regulate trapping, we also have guidelines. We call them Best Management Practices, or BMPs for short. They will help guide you in making educated decisions about the tools and techniques to use while trapping. Things like the proper size and type of trap for certain animals, how and where to place traps to catch certain animals, how to avoid catching or killing other animals, and most importantly, being respectful and humane in what we do. A responsible trapper also thinks past the catch. That means knowing how to handle a restrained animal. If we should come upon a live animal in a trap, we must be prepared to put it down in the most humane and efficient way possible. Or in the rare case that we trap an animal that we don't want, we need to be ready and know how to release it safely and without injury. Once in hand, showing respect for the animal continues. That means knowing how to care for the pelt, how to prepare the meat, and how to use as many parts of the animal as possible. That care will give us the satisfaction in knowing that others may enjoy the warmth and beauty of natural fur. Or we may teach others about the natural world by using the meat, tan pelt, or skull. It is important to educate and share these concepts with other people. This too will help ensure that future generations will have the same opportunities that we have today. As a student today and a trapper tomorrow, I hope that you will follow the rules and take the utmost care in your conduct as a trapper. Be humane and respectful of the animals that you catch. Be considerate of others who view regulated trapping differently than you and I do. Be careful in your harvest methods and use each and every animal to the fullest measure possible. Share your knowledge and experiences and do not tolerate behavior that will threaten the future of trapping. The future of trapping depends on you. Thank you for your time.